Welcome to Discovering. On tonight's show, we listen to stories from Bob Beaudry. In 2023, he was the first Yooper resident to win a pure Michigan hunt, and even better, he filled every single one of his tags. And you couldn't ask for a better recipient of this hunt.
I won the golden ticket, one ticket out of 77,000.
Bob has some great stories to share with us, so sit back and relax. It's Monday night, and it's time for Upper Michigan's very own Discovering.
The secret streams that flow beneath the cliffs of colored stone, forests thick and healthy with birch and pine and oak, surrounded by the greatest lakes this world has ever known. The black bear's awesome presence as he roams the hills and fields, call of the timber wolf, the loon's lonesome trill, the eagle soaring high above, the trout lies deep and still. These are what I treasure, the only way I measure feelings that I have for this fine land. There is so much to discover when you're a long-time lover of northern Michigan.
My name is Robert E. Beaudry Jr. I was born and raised in Gladstone, Michigan. I worked 32 years, retired from the military as a sergeant first class, and retired from UPS. Now I'm a grandparent. I got 5 beautiful kids that I do a lot of things with, and now I'm able to hunt more. My son-in-law, Michael Olson, is the one that coaxed me into buying a first ticket. And to keep him quiet, I thought, I'll buy the one ticket, whatever. And I never thought about it. And then I knew sometime in January they're going to draw the names. Yeah, I was sitting there going, how nice would that be to win it? And on the 20th of January, I get a phone call, and I saw it was from Lansing. I thought, Lansing? I don't know anybody in Lansing. So I answered it, and Eric Hillard from the DNR office, he's the media specialist, asked me who I was, and I thought, oh boy, I'm in trouble. And he goes, are you Robert E. Beaudry? And I said, yes, I am. And he goes, well, congratulations, you're one of 3 winners. And the first thought was, who put Michael Olson up to pulling a prank? I never win anything. I never win anything big. And I went and checked on the posted site, and my name was on there, Robert E. 82, and I'm like, that's me. So then I called up my son-in-law, Michael, and I goes, Mike, you're not going to believe what I just won. And he thought, a truck. I said, no, I won the Pure Michigan Hunt. And we got the call to go down on the 13th of April to pick up all the prizes. And the prizes, I mean, I was shocked. A shotgun, backpacks for turkey, backpacks for elk, gift cards, framed duck photos, memberships. I had a ton of things. And we went down and they took pictures, introduced us, and I took Mike with me. It was rewarding to know that I was the first one in UP to win this in the last 14 years. So I had a lot riding on my shoulders. I was like, okay, don't mess this up. You're representing the UP. Do it and get it done right. And I filled all my tags, and I got some nice trophies. I won the golden ticket, one ticket out of 77,000. And I was shocked. I was like, what are the odds of ever winning something like that? I got the bear hunt, the elk, the duck waterfowl reservation, first choice, turkey spring, turkey fall, and an antlerless deer tag. And I filled them all. It wasn't easy. It was hard, but I had a lot of help. Joe Botese from Hardcore Scripture Outdoors worked very hard to get me into these hunts. And son-in-law helped me with the duck hunt, and it was a team effort. And I'm glad I was part of it. First hunt was a spring turkey hunt. I've never hunted turkey in my life, and I was up against the odds. I thought I could do it by myself. I didn't realize turkeys in the spring are in their mating season. The toms are chasing the hens, and you got to know where they're at. And I hunt on public land, so it wasn't easy. I did a lot of road hunting, and then Joe helped me. He goes, I've seen them over here, seen some toms here and there. And I got lucky. I shot my first one on May 25th, chasing a hen, and he went down into some lower shrubs. When he bent down, I thought he was going to run. So I shot, and I got him, but I blew his beard off. So I had to glue the beard back together because thought I shot a hen, but I got him. And I was happy, took some pictures and told the story, how long it took. And hunt number 2, that would have been my bear hunt. I've never hunted bear. Joe Botese called me up and sent me a text. It would be an honor. You're a veteran. Have you hunt on my property or hunt with me? And I agreed to it. He guaranteed me a bear. And I said, how can you not take that? So I went out, I practiced shooting, and I wanted to know, where do you shoot a bear? Because they're so big and chunky, that front shoulder, chest, what's the vitals that you want to hit? So I was practicing, and I told Joe I can shoot 50 yards right on target. The first day was kind of tricky for me because the first day I went up there on my own in the dark. Sat up in a tree, it was really hot, so the bugs were there, so I put a bug net on me. And I'm thinking to myself, which direction are they coming from? I don't know. How do you know which size they are? I don't know. Next thing I know, it started downpouring. The opening day was a downpour of rain. Got hot, put my rain suit on, took it off. Then the winds picked up in the afternoon. But I sat there for 13 hours wondering, what can I do? So I got out of the tree, went back home, and I told him, next day, I'll go hunting. What time you want me? He says, leave at about 2:30. So I left at 2:30, picked up some more bait, got up to my tree stand in the daylight. 2 hours sitting up there, I was hard. I mean, after sitting 13 hours, I was kind of hurting. And I was just getting ready to sit up at about 6:05 when the first bear showed up. And I was like, whoa. Got back down, got ready, then another bear, and then another bear. And I'm thinking, which one do I shoot? So I took a picture, I sent it to Joe because his camera wasn't working. So I sent it to mine, no answer. So then all of a sudden, from the south, 2 more bears came in that chased out the 3 that were already in there. They went back north. One was really dark in the face and had like devil eyes, they were red. And I said, oh, I want that one. And it was really wide in the back. So I thought, okay, that's a shooter. Getting ready to shoot, and Joe texts me back, shoot the biggest. So here comes one from the east, chasing out them 2. Got onto the bait pile, and I'm looking, okay, that's a big one. I'm going to take that one. So my gun was ready. I waited till the right moment, and when that bear turned its head a little bit, I got a clean shot to the chest, and I placed my round where I was supposed to, dropped it right on the pile, and the head just rolled. It was dead on the pile. So I waited 15 minutes. Then I got down, and I was just kind of shaking. You know, first bear I've ever shot. I go up to it. It looked decent size. And then I didn't tag it or nothing until them guys came. They came in, they helped me tag it, process it, put it in my sled, and follow me out. What a reward. I mean, it was 218 pounds. It was a female. There was no cubs around. And the average in the UP, I believe, was only 137 to 140 pounds. So I got above average bear, my first one, and I was in heaven. I was smiling, shaking a little bit, you know, shoot my first bear, but I was happy. I took it to Joe's, he skinned it, quartered it. He did a Euro mount on it, and he's going to take the front paws and make a gun rack and make pillows out of the hide. So I was really impressed. My first bear, my first Michigan UP bear, I was happy. Well, the next one was a nice one. It was a duck hunt, and we went down to Queen, I think, Point, which is down by Pinconning, Michigan, right off Saginaw Bay. And we were trying to figure out who duck hunts because neither me or Mike duck hunt. So we're rookies. And he said, well, let me ask Kurt Bjorkman. And Kurt said, I'm in. All you got to bring is camouflage and your gun. I'm going, wow, okay, we don't have decoys, they're not a caller. All right. So we wanted to know which area they wanted to pick because you could go to anywhere in the state of Michigan and you get first choice on opening day. Opening day was October 7th downstate. So he picked that location. We picked Unit 26. That is a fully enclosed unit that you can hunt. You can fit 5 people in there, but you only authorize the hunter plus 3 friends. And Kurt had a dog named Murphy, which was a retriever, very nice dog. So we're all camouflaged up. We're out there bright and early, like 4:45 in the morning. And we had the trailer with the canoe for me and Cecil. Cecil is Kurt's Bjorkman's father-in-law, and I'm Michael's father-in-law. So we had 2 father-in-laws and 2 son-in-laws. But we made it. We set up, and then we waited for daybreak so we could start shooting. And once one person shot, it was like everybody started shooting. And for me, I was like, wow. And I couldn't judge the distance right away. I can shoot, but I couldn't judge the distance. I was shooting at ducks that were too far away. And Cecil would always call me lucky because I won the ticket. Well, then after he seen me shoot, he goes, don't worry, Bob will shoot. We called him Trigger. And then I got the first 4 ducks, and then the boys started going. Cecil would just call. We ended up with 14 ducks for the day, and we had some memorable moments. We had a blast. We had good camaraderie, good conversations, and we got the duck hunt. I would do it again. My first duck hunt, to get 14 and first time out there on opening day, I was happy. After duck hunting, then we went turkey hunting, fall turkey. And this time, Joe Botese was setting me up with different locations where he's spotted toms. He set me up on a few spots, and I had hens coming in, no toms. And finally on the 24th of October, he took me up to Silver Lake. Well, we got to the site, we got settled in. We were just talking. Joe was sitting in the 2-man ground blind. Joe was on the left, I was on the right, so I had a good shot. And it wasn't until about 9:30 that the tom and the hens came in. And it was like the hens were shielding the toms. There was 2 toms, a short-bearded one and the long-bearded. And they were shielding them, like they knew they had to protect them. After about 15 minutes, finally the tom, the one we were looking at, kind of stood up on a log and stretched its neck out. And as soon as it did, I took the shot. Bang! Down it went. The others flew away. It's the only thing I hit was him. I did a headshot. Waited a few minutes, went over there, and Joe goes, wow, he's bigger than I thought. He had a 10 5/8 inch beard, and he weighed 20.5 pounds. A whitetail deer, I got a antlerless deer tag, any unit that you can hunt. And I tried doing with my crossbow and a tree stand, and the wind was swirling around, so I had no luck. So late in the season, it was in November, the end of November, I went to a ground blind, set a ground blind up, put some bait out, and I had deer coming in. The next day, I went out bright and early in the morning, just before daybreak, sat, see nothing, came back in, went out at about 1:30, sat till about 2:30, and a nice-sized doe came in. So when the doe came in, I had my rifle with me because it was rifle season. I shot at about 55 yards, dropped it right there. Had it weighed 150 pounds. And when I took it into the DNR to see how old it was roughly 5 years old. Not really big on shooting does, but I had to fill that tag. I did give the deer to a friend of mine, a Vietnam veteran. He took it and he appreciated it. One grand finale, the one I was hoping for in my lifetime, was the elk hunt, Michigan elk hunt. And that one took a lot of work, preparation, finding a guide, finding a location. Joe Botese once again came through for me, hooked me up with the Canada Creek Ranch down at Atlanta, Georgia, or Atlanta, Michigan, excuse me. I could hunt the first season or the second or both until I get one. First season, I looked at the weather, and the weather was in the 80s, rainy and in the 80s, and I thought, I don't want to hunt in that, just because of traveling back to UP, having to put the elk on ice. I mean, there was a lot of things you had to look at. I went down on December 8th, and I hunted till the 11th, and then I got mine on the 11th. Opening day was on the 9th, so I hunted 3 days. I didn't know what to expect. And they said, most of the time we're going to be riding with a few dismounts. And I said, okay. So we did. Opening day, we got out there bright and early, sat, didn't see anything. And then there's communication between all the hunters and the guides. The guides will use a two-way radio, and if they see a cow or a bull or a herd, they tell everybody. So whoever's got a cow hunter or a bull hunter can go to that site and try to set up a shot. Well, we didn't see anything, so we started moving around. About 8:30 in the morning, my son-in-law, Mike, goes, hey, I see an elk on the ridge over there. And I seen one. Well, he was looking at the first one. I was looking at the second. My guide saw a third one. So he was looking at the third one. I'm looking at the second one. And they were shooters. Oh, they had some nice racks. So I dismounted out of the truck, got my shooting stick, ranged it, and I asked, how far is that? About 175 yards. And the first one was real thick with the brush. Mine, I had a window. He was on an angle, could have shot in the front shoulder, and I kept yelling at my guide, I got this. I can take him. I can shoot. And what he was looking at, he said, no, it's too thick. You'll ricochet, you'll miss, you'll wound. Don't take the shot. And I was like, okay, you listen to your guide. So that day we went further, looked around, see nothing, called it a day. Same thing on the second day. We went out bright and early, went to the gas line, sat where they said 7 bulls had crossed. We sat there, nothing. In the early afternoon, rode around, didn't see anything, saw some tracks, whitetail. And then finally about 4:15 in the afternoon, a guide named Lanny calls in to everybody, says, we just spotted 3 bulls on West Fence Road. We're going up this hilly road, and right about 150 yards away was an elk. I couldn't see horns. I just saw a big elk. They looked like a horse in the woods. So he stops, leaves the vehicle run. I got my shooting stick with, and we didn't realize that elk walked across that road already before we could see him. Ron and his son were behind us, and Ron yells to me, he goes, hey, Bob, he's on your right. He's watching you. So I swings my gun off to the right, and I looked, and he was just going over that ridge. And what I saw was a huge wide rack. I said, that's a shooter. I walks about 20 yards, and I sees the elk behind the trees hiding, and he starts to walk. I figured he was probably 120, 130 yards. So I put my sights on him, took the shot, and he dropped. When I fired, he fell to the ground, tried to get up, couldn't get up. Well, then Ron goes, shoot him again. And I'm going, he ain't going anywhere. Shoot him again. So I did. I shot again. This time I hit him in the neck and the windpipe, and he still was moving. So I fired another shot, and this time I hit him at the base of the neck, and he went down for good. I didn't even put another round in. I just walked up to him, and I looked at him, and I went numb. I've never gone numb after shooting a whitetail, a mule deer, or anything, but I went numb because the back of my mind was saying, I just filled my last Pure Michigan hunt tag, and I got a trophy elk. Thanks be to God. Thank you very much. I had a dream of a lifetime come true. I'm still glowing after that. I mean, I always wanted to elk hunt, and I never thought I'd have the opportunity to hunt in Michigan for elk. And when I won that ticket, I was like, wow. And I was blessed, and I made sure I took advantage of it.
That's all for tonight, and I hope to see you right back here next week for Upper Michigan's very own Discovering.